we're going to be doing a power adapter fix on this Gateway laptop. Now if you look what happened to the adapter, the tip is damaged, and the inside of that tip, the plastic, is actually missing. It's stuck in the power jack on that laptop. So our first priority is to get that plastic out of there. And then we're going to need to repair the actual AC adapter. We're just going to replace the tip. And that's if the jack is okay. Once I pull this plastic out, we might find that the jack is not okay and we have to replace the jack. But first things first, I'm just using a small, tiny set of screwdrivers. I think I got it $1 for $1 at Micro Center. I just picked the tiniest one there. And I'm going to use that and try to pry out the plastic that's stuck in the power jack. And I got it loose, and then I just grabbed a thin set of needle nose pliers and pulled out the plastic, and here is the culprit. Now the inside of that jack is clean, it's clear. I'm going to take my voltmeter out and make sure that nothing got damaged in that jack. I'm just going to see if there's any short circuits by setting the meter for continuity, which is where you hear that little beep. Most meters make a beep when you touch the two leads together. And I'm going to touch the inside pin of the power jack and a ground point. And if I hear a beep, then I know there's a short circuit and there was damage done to the jack. If I don't hear a beep, then I'm going to assume it's okay. And it looks like it's okay. So we're going to try a power adapter, a different power adapter in this machine, to see if it powers on. Now this is actually a blooper that I'm keeping in the video. We'll see how sharp you guys are. So I plug in the new power adapter, and I push the power button, and nothing's happening. Can you guys tell me why nothing's happening? You might have to rewind it to see it. Anyway, I'm going to fast forward this because I messed around with it for a while, wondering why it's not powering on. I even take off the hinge cover, inspect the button, take out a couple screws, try to figure out what the problem is. Everything looks okay, and then I realize I forgot to attach the part that plugs into the wall to the actual power brick right there. It happens. If you did spot that, good for you. So now when I plug it in and I test the button, we get power and everybody's happy. So it appears that the power jack is good, and we just need to repair the power adapter. Just wanted to show you I make mistakes too. Now to replace the tip on the power adapter. And this is the power adapter in question that we're going to fix. We're just going to cut that tip off. Make sure it's not plugged in as you do this. We're going to cut it off right at that point. We'll make sure all the wire below that point is good and there's no crimps in it or bends or breaks in it. Now I'm going to just take a little pair of pliers here and remove the outer casing from the wire there. It might be wise to use wire strippers, which I do not have right now, but it might be wise to use wire strippers just in case you don't cut that wire and break it. But my trusty little blue snippers do okay. Just don't put too much pressure when you close it. Now we're going to wrap up that outside ground wire, which is the bare wire. And once we're sure that those wires are not touching, we're going to plug the AC adapter into the wall and test to make sure we're getting the correct voltage to those wires. Now I didn't do it with the bad tip on it because the tip is bad. So now that we remove the bad tip, we're going to be able to check if this adapter is putting out the proper voltage. So I'm putting the black on the bare wire and I'm putting the red onto the white wire. and it's slowly giving us a charge, which is not a terribly good sign. It may be my voltmeter's acting a little flaky. Battery might be running low. So let's try that again. Or the wires were loose or something was loose. We'll give it one more try. If it does that again, the power adapter might be a little flaky. It might be on its way out. It might not be able to put out the amps that it needs. And that time it goes pretty much straight to 18. Now sometimes those power bricks take a little bit of time to charge, but that usually shows a sign of weakness when that happens. You're also going to notice the part coming out of the power brick is frayed as well on this power adapter. So that's going to need to be repaired too. I have another power adapter here up on the bench and I'm testing it, as well as this one. And I'm just going to pick the stronger of the two, which turns out to be the one that doesn't have that frayed part coming out of the brick itself. Just make sure that the voltages and amperages match up on your power adapters when you're matching them. So I'm going to bring out the heat shrink tubing here. I use heat shrink tubing instead of electrical tape because it forms a bond. It makes it more professional and tougher for the customer to peel away the work that you did. And I'm using a Radio Shack adapter plug here. And this is going to be a little bit of a crude way of doing the power adapter repair, but it's pretty solid and it makes a good connection. So I'll show you what I'm doing. Right now I'm going to sand the leads that go into that adapter plug. See, that adapter plug is meant to be plugged into another adapter. And it gets really expensive at Radio Shack when you start buying adapter upon adapter. So sometimes I like to solder the leads for the power adapter directly to the leads on the adapter plug. But since they aren't meant for solder,